Oh my god, okay. Okay, I'm gonna rise up, I'm gonna kick a little ass, gonna kick some ass in the USA, gonna climb a mountain, gonna soar a flag, gonna fly on an eagle, I'm gonna kick some butt, I'm gonna drive a big truck, I'm gonna rule this world, I'm gonna kick some ass, I'm gonna rise up, I'm gonna kick a little ass, rock, flag, and eagle!
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, where we talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news. See, I did a little abridged version of the intro. I thought it would save time. Of course, I'm wasting time now explaining that, but this is how we're going to go forward. So let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. I'm always going to say that. It feels good in my lips. That sounds weird. Anyway, let's talk about the news. First up, going back to our Thor wave release, the Love and Thunder figures have hit the interwebs in a big way. I was a little bit skeptical or unsure about doing a video about them initially, but then I did, and now they're all over the place. So it seemed like an okay call. You literally can't go online without finding these figures on Instagram and YouTube and just about everywhere else. So they look good. Yeah. That's the best thing I can say. It is absolutely another wave of MCU figures that is coming out. There's some good stuff in there. I think that Thor looks great. I think Mighty Thor looks great. I think that King Valkyrie, that one in particular, I think Tessa Thompson looks very cool. Bit of a badass sort of design. Awesome looking armor. I'm down to clown with that one. I think that's wicked. I hope that we see her horse in there as well. I know it has a name, but I don't recall it. The big one though, which is like the big negative, is that we finally see what Gore looks. And he looks poopy. He looks really, disappointing. Disappointing. Thor, this is like, it's like Thor the Dark World when we got Malekith or whatever. It's like, why are you going to do Thor's villains dirty like this? What is the matter with you? This is Christian Bale we're talking about here. He's like big A-list Hollywood actor, you know, and maybe that's it. Maybe he was like, well, if I'm going to play this role, then you need to be able to see my face properly so that I can emote all of my emotions. Oh, you're going to put CGI on there? Oh, good for you. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I'm imagining it. What I would hope, possibly, but I doubt, is that maybe this is like the first form of Gore. And then later he'll get more of the black swarty stuff and the kind of the cape and just the more badass look that we're used to from the comics. But honestly, I doubt it. I'm guessing this is what it's going to be for the rest of the film. And if that's the case, this weird engineer / Voldemort hybrid looking guy, that's pretty lame. That is pretty lame. What's not lame, though, is Ragnarok Thor. He looks great. I'm very excited about that. I say Ragnarok, I mean Ravager Thor. Ravager Thor looks really cool. Groot, it's just another Groot, nothing to that. And yeah, that's about it, really, I think. So, and then, of course, you've got Korg as the Builder-figure, which doesn't seem to be lighting anyone's world on fire. If you want Korg, you can get the 2-pack. He's just wearing pants, slightly different costume. That's about it. What I will give Hasbro credit for, God bless you, no sarcasm here, which is rare on my videos. Thank you for doing a complete MCU wave. That's wonderful. No BS having to buy the entire MCU wave just to get a comic book Build-A-Figure or something like that. I love the fact that it's like, no, if you want MCU, boom, you can get it. If you don't collect MCU, you can leave it. So that's actually really nice. A+ for that, Hasbro. The rest of it, like, yeah, I think they've done a fine job of recreating the characters. I imagine. I haven't seen the original characters to be recreated, you know what I mean? But they look fine. They look adequate. And sometimes adequate is actually adequate. Next up, we're staying with Hasbro and going over to G.I. Joe with their reveal of Dr. Mindbender. Mindbender, do-do-do. He's the man who will bend your mind. It's a little Shirley Bassey there for you. That's why you come to this channel. Really, honestly, no. Why do you come to this channel? Mindbender. You know what? Honestly, not my jam. Not my cup of tea. Not my forte. Especially because this comes in like a big old box. And I see that big old box and I just see an extra $10 on the price. That's it. I don't have price or release date or pre-order date yet. I'm not saying they're not out there, but I can't find them. But we can just look at the figure and you can make your own assessment. For me, with my Joe style, I like the more realistic Joes. This bare chest, purple pants, monocle, twirly villain moustache, like, no, that's too much. Bit too silly for me. Yeah. It's like I can have my Destros in his pimp outfit, and I can have Zartan in his hood and all that nonsense. But Mindbender is where I draw the line, okay? And I will not bend to Mindbender. Or yeah, maybe I will when FOMO kicks in. We'll find out. It looks like a lovely presentation box set. So if you're really game for this, it's gonna be a good one to get. I'm not saying I won't get it. I'm just saying I'm not convinced yet. You know, bit too cartoony for me. And people are saying, oh, I can feel like from looking at the art and all that kind of stuff and the direction they're going, this is going more towards the kind of Serpentor and Globulus type direction. And if that's the case, I'm actually going to be like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I don't want silly underground snake nations. I want like evil terrorists against good guys. You know, that's my sort of thing. Again, it's the Metal Gear Solid kind of connection, likeness, that really appeals to me. Once it gets a bit too 80s Saturday morning cartoon, then I'm like, I'm out. But take a look. If you like the look of Mindbender, then I'm going to keep you informed as much as I can do when facts and figures come in. I mean, I'm sure they've already come into someone else, but, you know, when they finally come into me. I spoke recently about McFarlane DC doing a Blackest Nightwave, which is pretty cool in itself, but it looks as though we have a sneaky leak somewhere which has revealed an image of the actual Batman figure, the Black Lantern zombified Batman. This is like snapped on a table. I don't know where it came from exactly. Not Toy Arc, TNInews.com. Those guys had the scoop on this one, and it's exactly what you would expect. It's Batman as a zombie. So, like, looks fine. I mean, he doesn't actually look that, like, gory, you know? I think the more cartoony Marvel Legends zombie Captain America looked more zombified, you know? But in fairness, I'm sure that's just what Black Lantern Batman looked like in the comics, and McFarlane have just done that. So, fair play, because I know that if I was a big comics fan, I would be annoyed if I was like, that's not how it looks in the comics. So I guess they can only go so far with their crazy, creepy, decayed kind of look. So yeah, this looks fine. It's not the most exciting looking picture in the world, but it gives you an idea as to what you might expect. So also, expected in this line is the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, then also Blackest Night Superman, then we're going to get Deathstorm as well, and those are all going to come with Build-A-Figure pieces to make an Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. So I'm willing to bet that this will probably be a very cool looking wave. There's a lot of badass, awesome looking characters in here, so genuinely, even though I'm not a big DC guy, I really want to see how this comes out. First 4 figures have revealed their Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary statue, and this looks kind of lovely. I'm a big Sonic fan. That's just nostalgia central for me. Our house was a Sega house. So Sonic was what I was raised on and grew up with. So the fact that we're getting all this new merchandise, new wave of movies, and like Sonic is back, I really love that. And I love this statue as well. Not so much I'm going to pay the asking price of near $500 for it, but it's nice to look at and go, yeah. I mean, first 4 figures, they do really nice work. My Majora's Mask is a first 4 figures piece, and it's good. It's real good. So I can see where the quality is going, or where the money's going into the quality. And you've got different versions, different price points for the more impressive types of statue. Gosh, words are hard. Let me tell you the gist of them. So you can pre-order these over at first4figures.com, and they're available until April 22nd, after which, that's it. No more. Until maybe they re-release it. I don't know. They probably won't, though. April 22nd. That's your cutoff. Go with that. Kingdom Hearts. Got a couple of Kingdom Hearts news pieces today, and I'm not familiar that much with Kingdom Hearts. Like, I love the idea of it. I love a hack and slash sort of Disney kind of game, open worldy, exploring the different realms. I really dig that, but I'm one of those people who's like, I'm 40 years old now, and apparently there's about 20 years of insanely hard to understand convoluted history and storytelling and narrative that's split across like 10 different game systems and 1,000 different versions of the game. I can't get into this. But a lot of people have, and Playarts have got you covered. So they are going to be giving us Kingdom Hearts 3, Kai Sora, Riku, and Kairi? Yeah, let's go with that pronunciation. Now, these figures are in a 10-inch scale, so they're going to be pretty big. And of course, with that comes a pretty hefty price tag as well. And again, they're doing different tiers as well. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that, because the whole tier thing, like, the prices aren't that different, but you might end up wanting the higher tier one, but like you can't find it, and you have to get like the lower tier one, and then you feel like not that satisfied. And just do a one size fits all, guys. Come on. Or am I alone on that? What do you guys think? Should they do different tiers for different accessories? Comment below, let me know. But let me tell you what they've got on their menu. So the standard versions of Sora and Riku are going to be priced at $189.99, which is obviously a lot, and their deluxe editions are priced at $209.99, and Kairi is priced at $199. And the more expensive ones, they have different accessories, so more swap out pieces, different faces, different hands, so more customizable sort of options. But yeah, maybe folks like the fact that they're different prices, maybe they don't. I don't know. But either way, what do you think? Mezco are getting horrific with their Silent Hill box set. This is the 5-point line that they do. So 5 points of articulation, what I found out recently when I was like, duh, what does 5-point mean? And people told me. Thank you very much for that. So these are like the less high-end deluxe type figures. They're more sort of cute accessory type figures, but you're getting a pyramid head, you're getting like a bubble head nurse who looks very freaky, and they come with a diorama backdrop as well, and all this for $44 coming out the first quarter of next year. That actually seems like a pretty good deal for more of a stripped down basic version of Mezco action figures. Silent Hill 2's got a great pedigree. People love that pyramid head. They can't get enough of the skin ripping, terrifying, crazy person. And the scary zombie nurses, like, they are iconic. I used to date a girl who did a burlesque routine as one of the Silent Hill nurses. I didn't know what to feel about that. It was kind of pretty though, in a weird way, but I digress. So yeah, if you want something horrific on your shelf, you can pick these up. And that's all the action figure news we've got for today. It's been a slow couple of days. Like, this is a couple of days news, and it's not a lot. But then again, maybe the manufacturers are just giving us a break. Just going to let our wallets rest for a moment. And granted, the Thor news was quite big news, and that was yesterday. In fact, I even doubled up on it because go talk about something, am I right? But there's some other interesting non-action figure news that I want to talk about. The first one being DC's new Batman, Jace Fox. This is the Batman of New York, which I think is kind of cool. I like that they actually have a real-world city with a different Batman in there. That's an interesting kind of dynamic. And he's getting a new sidekick of his own as well, which has been previewed in some cover art. And there's no sort of indication as to who this person is, what their backstory is, but just it looks like he's following that kind of mirror of the original Bruce Wayne, but in a very different style with a very different kind of character. Apparently this Batman, from what I've been reading, he's not hiding in the shadows. He's more of a public kind of figure because he wants to kind of make a difference and be a symbol that there's hope and change and people shouldn't be afraid and all that kind of stuff. And I really dig that. I like that direction. And some of the preview pages they put out where he's having a back and forth with some, what looks like a psycho type vigilante with a crazy spiked iron as a weapon. Like, I kind of like the look of that. Maybe I might start picking up some DC books. I don't know, but I'm genuinely interested as to where this story's going. Now, I'm not a big Doctor Who guy, but I am English, so it's kind of a cultural necessity that I do at least talk about The Good Doctor and the fact that we're getting a spring Doctor Who special. And this is, again, just a little bit of interesting kind of like tidbit, sort of food for thought, is that they're going to be approaching or addressing the idea of a romantic relationship between the Doctor and her assistant, which has never sort of been broached before. The Doctor's always been kind of asexual, and I kind of prefer that approach to the Doctor because they are an alien. They're not a human being like us, and they see the world and life and loves differently. But I appreciate that over 60 years of Doctor Who history, you can tweak and change the character a little bit. So it's hinting towards a same-sex relationship, which is also kind of nice to see on like a big mainstream property. The question is how far they're going to go with this. If they're just going to have like a shared look, or if they're actually going to be bold enough to do something more definitive about it. Knowing the BBC, they probably will err on the side of caution. Don't want to ruffle too many feathers with the constabulary, but it's just kind of nice that they're exploring these different ideas and aspects of the character and sort of fleshing these things out more and giving some nice representation and exposure on TV. I'm all for this. This is cool. Going over to Mobius, the gift that just keeps on giving as far as good news is concerned. They've broken a box office record. Congratulations! For all the wrong reasons. You know what? I don't want to say I called it, but I kind of called it. Mobius has set a record for the biggest box office decline in sales from one week to the next, and we kind of expected that. It had a big opening weekend and then dropped off big time. Let me read you some statistics. Mobius took a massive fall in its second weekend box office with a $9.9 million haul. According to Forbes, that is a 73.9% drop from the previous weekend, which is the biggest of any Marvel comic adaptation, beating out the previous record holder, X-Men Dark Phoenix. Oh, I never even watched that, I just heard about it. It also tied with X-Men Dark Phoenix for the biggest Friday to Friday drop at a massive 83%. The much maligned Fantastic Four reboot. I watched most of that on a plane and I really wish I hadn't. That's a bleak, unpleasant, just bad film. However, that film did have a smaller opening weekend than Mobius did. So yeah, I'm not actually someone who delights in seeing something fail. I want things to succeed, unless the thing deserves to fail. And honestly, having gone and seen Mobius and paid my ticket price, giving myself the right to criticize it, I can say it deserves to fail. It's a badly made movie that's poorly written and was just put out there to provide content and set up future franchises without any care to actually establishing a decent, interesting film, basically wasting the audience's time and our money. So no, you deserve to fail on that. And also what's encouraging for me is that hopefully they're just gonna just kill this thing dead. Just don't do the Sinister Six. Don't do all the things you're setting up, because you're building a house on a swamp, and the house is just going to sink deeper into the swamp. Okay, so just abort what you're doing. Abort the nonsense post-credit scene that made no sense to any of the characters. Just forget it. Move on, okay? Because this thing, yeah, stop trying to make Morbius happen. All right, Sony, it's not going to happen. But more fun Spider-Man related news is that X-Force 30 coming out soon will have a confrontation that I personally have been kind of hyped to see for a long time. Wolverine versus Kraven the Hunter. Kraven the Hunter is one of those characters who I just love seeing matched up against different sort of street level Marvel heroes, because he's a really interesting dude, basically. I want to see how his skills will match up against others. I love it when I've read crossovers with Kraven and the Punisher. They had a really good one. Kraven and Kazar. Kraven and the Scarlet Spider Kane version. That was an amazing story. Kraven was terrifying in that. So I really want to see how they make him pair up to Wolverine, because apparently, from what I understand, from what I've read, they've actually never crossed paths, which is bonkers. In like 60 years of Marvel Comics, Wolverine and Kraven have never really thrown down. Old Man Logan has, but we don't count that. So all I'm hoping is that they don't just job out Kraven, because they shouldn't. He should be able to go toe-to-toe, not beat Wolverine necessarily, but put up a good fight, and that's what I want to see. So the preview art, that looks really cool, and honestly, I'm all in on this. Going back to Kingdom Hearts now, and at their 20th anniversary event, there was some exciting news for Kingdom Hearts fans, which is lucky since it was at a Kingdom Hearts event. They're doing a Kingdom Hearts 4, which is like a big deal. People have been waiting for this for a long time. So friends of mine actually who are into Kingdom Hearts, I saw them making some posts about how excited they were that Kingdom Hearts was coming back, and they had like a sort of a sizzle reel, get hype type trailer. And also there's another Kingdom Hearts game as well, which is Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which I think it's like a mobile or Android game or something. I don't know. I don't know my Kingdom Hearts. But if you are into Kingdom Hearts, or if you were a kid playing Kingdom Hearts and now you've grown up and got out of it, but now you're into action figures, as is the natural order of things, then maybe this news might interest you. And one of these days, if they ever do like a Kingdom Hearts reboot, where it's like, okay, forget all this crazy lore, let's start from scratch, then I'd be in on it. But in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of like semi-interestedly watch, you know what I mean? And finally, it would seem that Namor the Submariner has been all but kind of unofficially confirmed as the main antagonist of Black Panther 2, or Wakanda Forever. Just knock my mic there. And of course I say antagonist because I don't want to say villain, because is he a villain? Well, it depends on how they portray him. Hopefully he'll get a better shake than Gore the God Butcher has. At least maybe a better action figure. But it hasn't been officially announced, but there's been little hints and things here and there. Let me read you the info I've got. So first of all, there was a rumor out that suggested that an actor called Tenoch Huerta, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but he's been in Narcos and he was in Spectre as well. There was the rumor that he had been cast as Prince Namor. And then also, just very recently, a Hollywood insider by the name of Charles Murphy, I guess he's a big deal. I don't know who he is, but apparently he carries some clout in the Hollywood news reporting industry. He was asked on Twitter how big of a role Namor was going to have in Wakanda Forever, to which he responded, I mean, he's the primary antagonist, so ... So there you go. I mean, normally I wouldn't put too much credence into that, but actually it wasn't ... It was so ... And that's when you know things are going down. So I'm excited to see Prince Namor in Wakanda Forever. They hinted that something might be up when they had the Dora Milaje. How do you pronounce that? You know who I mean. What's her name? The warrior, the main lady. Oh, come on, Dave. No, it's gone. But when she was talking about earthquakes in Under the Sea, you know, that's like, oh, okay, so earthquakes under the sea near Wakanda. Yeah, I'm seeing an Atlantis connection here. So, God, that's really annoying me that I can't think. Oh, Okoye! Oh, that's going to drive me crazy. All right, so yes, it looks like Namor is going to be the primary antagonist of Wakanda Forever, and I'm excited to see it. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. Bit of a random, rambly one, but I hope you enjoyed it. Apparently, this is great background noise for when you're doing more important things, and I'm kind of happy with that. It's like having the radio on in the background when you're cleaning or something. Allow me to provide the white noise for your day. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, then join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, then please do by going over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior. You can throw a couple of bucks my way. It really helps support the show and gives me more time at home to make better videos. And Lord knows, we could all appreciate that. So guys, until next time, didn't know what I was going to do with my hands there. Keep displaying model behavior. I spoke before. Just recently, I covered the Blackest Nightwave that McFarlane DC are going to be doing in their McFarlane DC line. It's a redundant sentence. But now it looks as though we have a little leaky leak. That we've got the new Batman. No, I'm going to start the whole thing again. That's just gibberish. Mindless gibberish. Isn't it sausage?
Cup of coffee. Big time.